Hey everyone, it's Tara. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here because I need your help. I've been thinking about my goals and priorities for 2021 as 2020 comes to an end. And one of the things I want to accomplish in 2021 is to stay on top of my books, my book buying, what I'm reading from my shelves more, all of that. And one of the things as part of that I want to accomplish is figuring out how to keep track of the books that I own. So here's a little bit of background. I have tried multiple systems to track the books that I own. Not necessarily just the books I've owned that are unread, but just all of the books that are on my shelves physically. So, I don't know, a couple of years ago, I was like, oh, let me just create a Google Doc, spreadsheet, or a Google Sheet, I guess is what they are called. Input all of the books that I own, whether they're read, unread, all of that. And so I took hours to go through all the books on my shelf, input them into this spreadsheet. And my thought was oh, if I do a Google Sheet, then I'll always have it at the ready, on my phone. So in all of this time putting this together, never really used it. I found it was kind of hard to use when I was at a bookstore or at a library book sale to figure out what I needed or already owned. So then I was like, all right, well, I have Goodreads. I wasn't really using it at the time, but it was I had the thought to use Goodreads right around the time that I really started using Goodreads to track my reading again. So I was like, okay, let me create shelves on Goodreads and do the same thing. So again, I spent hours going through, scanning all of my books, figuring out what I owned, and I had a few different shelves. I had an owned shelf of books that I owned. I'm happy with the edition I have. I don't need to replace it. And then an owned shelf that was oh, this copy's a little bit beat up, or this is a library edition. I own it and that's great. But if I found a better copy of it, great, I'd replace it. Then that wasn't working too horribly for me, except that I found myself, especially when I was at a library book sale where there's just a lot of books in front of me, and I was trying to find books by authors that I really enjoy, like Mary Higgins Clark and John Grisham, where there's just a lot of their books. And I would find myself scanning the book in front of me at the library book sale, and it wouldn't come up as owned. So I'd be like, oh, okay, cool, I don't own it. And then I'd get home and I'm like, well, what the heck? I do own it. And it's because it was a different edition. And so I wasn't clicking on the book title once you scan it and you select it. It would if it was a different edition, it would just show us oh, add to your want to read list. But you actually have to click the book and go to the actual listing on Goodreads to see if you have it shelved already. And I wasn't doing that because I didn't realize that that's how it worked, I guess. I don't know. So I was buying duplicates is what was happening. So, and that's just me not knowing how Goodreads works. And I know now what I was doing wrong. But at the time I was like, well, this isn't working for me either. How am I going to figure it out? Then I got to the point where I was like, you know what? I have all of my Mary Higgins Clark books on one shelf. I'll just take a picture of my shelf, and when I know I'm going somewhere where I could be buying or looking at books by this author, I'll just take a picture of my Mary Higgins Clark books, or I'll just take a picture of my John Grisham books. And then again, it was just hard to use when I'm in the moment, and specifically when I'm at library book sales, when there's a lot of people and you just feel this I don't know, pressure to move along quickly. So that wasn't really working for me either. So now I want to figure it out, like figure out a system that's going to work for me. So my question to you all is, how do you keep track of the books that you own? Do you use Goodreads? Because I'm leaning towards trying Goodreads again and like creating a shelf. And now that I know how it works, maybe it'll work better for me. Like, is that what you use to keep track of the books you own? Do you keep track of the books that you own? Or do you, like, are you just really good at remembering if you own books and so you don't need like a system to track them? Or do you not care if you buy duplicates? Like, all of those questions are questions that I have for you. Like, what system do you use to keep track of your books if you do it? Like, if you do. Let me know down below, how do you keep track of your owned books, if you keep track of it? Because I'm really curious and I want some advice. So, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, happy reading. Bye.